Hey y'all, Billy from Perma Pastures Farm along with my homeboy Jason from Sow the Land. You can even tell by the hat in case you forget. Well, we're doing something pretty cool today, and before we get into it, y'all, don't forget we got a butchery class. When's it gonna happen, Jason?
Yeah, man, at the end of April 28th, 29th, and May 5th and 6th. We're gonna show you how to scald one of those days, and then also the next day, how to skin a pig.
Yep, you're also gonna get all the electronic stuff, but today, you see me holding the big letter A, and that stands for A-frame. So what we're gonna do right there where my Intrepid guard puppy is laying right now, obviously there's a greenhouse, okay, or a high tunnel. All the water sheds. In fact, let me lay this down for a minute and just explain what happens. All the water basically sheds. This thing is just sloped just enough to where it comes down here into this little channel, and then off to the side, and then down to the Mississippi. Well, remember, when energy comes on your property, you got three choices. You can capture it, at least for a little while, you can deflect it, and then you can amplify it. In some cases, you can do all three. But right now, we are deflecting it, and we're gonna capture it within this swale starting right here. Now, the whole purpose of this A-frame is to get me perfectly level. It can be done with lasers, it can be done with any number of means. But what we need to do, because we got a couple of things going on today, is that Jason's gonna help me out with those flags. We're gonna find out where this swale, we're gonna find out what is perfectly level, what is contour. We're gonna put a flag where that is, for the express purpose of taking those bees that are down over there, getting them situated somewhere. We're gonna have to move them. They're gonna have to go uphill for a whole variety of reasons. When that happens, we gotta make sure that we didn't just put them in the middle of a swale, okay? So that's exactly what we're doing today. So right now, all I'm doing, I'm gonna go ahead and find out where level is and where that other leg is. My man Jason is gonna put a flag in right there we're level, my man. So all I'm gonna do is take it, walk it over like so, just kind of twist it on itself. And you could use a pendulum, you could use any number of things. We're gonna find out where level is, and right there it is. All right, y'all, so Jason and I basically got this thing. I'm not sure you can see it all, but it looks like the Great Serpent Mound up in Ohio, you know? It undulates through the landscape and then back around that way. Now, the way this is set up, we got one giant bowl of a property. It basically is like a giant amphitheater, comes down, is gonna be captured in here. But it doesn't make any sense at all unless you know what the bigger picture is. And keep in mind, you may have to lay this thing out 5-10 times before you get what you like. What I don't like is as I come up here, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, I don't like how it's sitting too far. I want my swale as high in the landscape as I can get it. So what I'm gonna do, where those flags are, I'm gonna walk them back to about where I'm standing. Make your mistakes on paper, then make your mistakes with flags before you ever make mistakes, because check it out. Once you get this in, it's a nightmare to have to change it, especially if you went ahead, because in our case, we're gonna plant trees in the top of those swales where the mound is, okay? If I didn't mention it at first, basically a swale is a water harvesting ditch on contour. Perfectly level, all the water comes in, and instead of running off and down to the Mississippi, we intercept it for a while, allow it to go in, recharge our aquifers, recharge our pastures. How cool is that? We do all that stuff right here. So as I'm looking at it right now, I'm like, okay, I think I want to come higher. So we're going to put it higher in the landscape, get this thing looking like it ought to, and that's where we'll go with it from there. Now, let me also describe, because it needs to go, we're not doing anything in isolation. Right over there, you can possibly see it. William's maybe pointing to it right now. Right there is a part that already wants to be a pond. There's a spring coming up there. It's very, very moderate, okay? By the time we're all done, this thing is going to be something else. But we know that is an area where it's pockmarked. The ground is very, very beat up. It's sunken a little bit, and it's always wet. So right there it tells me, A, that tree that's coming at the end there, it's going to go away. We're not going to get rid of this tree higher in the landscape because every time our bees decide they want a diddy mow out of there, that's where they go and we capture them. So we're going to drop that, what tree is that anyway?
A hybrid poplar.
Okay, there's a poplar down there. Lost my brain for a minute there. That poplar is going to go away because we can't have it in the dam. But we're essentially going to make a pond there. And then if you follow it further down, there's going to be an even bigger pond all the way down there. So how does this swale make any sense in all of that? Number one, instead of just having some torrent of rainfall just come down, go straight to the ponds and then take off, no, we're going to slow it down a little bit, and that's what this swale is designed to do. Plus, a swale is a tree growing system and a half. We're creating orchards and food forests everywhere around there. So on every single swale, we're going to have trees alongside of it. This is the same design we've been using forever and a day, and it has served us well. That's exactly what we're going to do right here. So that's exactly the plan. So we'll get my man over here, Jason, and we'll just talk about now, Jason, at your place, we've kind of laid this out before, and you're kind of halfway thinking about whether or not you want to do this at your place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of too soon for me because we've only been there barely a year. I feel like I need to be there a little bit longer to put something in as permanent as like a pond and a swale. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
And that's smart because you want to be at your place a while before you ever think about doing anything like this. You want to look at it through all 4 seasons. And honestly, he's thinking, okay, Jason's very polite. He's thinking, you know what? I'm going to let them make all these mistakes out there at their place before I do it in mine.
Yeah, let's do it here first, Billy. Then I'll come out, see what you got going on, and then I'll decide.
Yeah, he's thinking, yeah, I'm not quite sure about this whole swale business. We'll just let them go ahead and mess their place up first before we go do it at his. But we've done this many, many times before, and, you know, this is something we're pretty good at. So, folks, the cool thing is that you make all these mistakes on paper with flags, then put it in the field. But that's exactly, nothing's in isolation. So we're doing this in such a way to where we've got to move our bees from where they are down the hill, and we want to make absolutely sure that they're placed in a place where we never got to worry about moving them again. And on the same token, we got to make sure that it's not screwing up our grazing, because we are the sheep business right now. So we need to make sure that our swale and the area to the road isn't so narrow that we can't even graze sheep up in there that make it make sense, or have our chickens in there where that makes it make sense as well. So y'all, hopefully this has been a blessing to you. Remember, Jason and me, tell them the dates again, Jason.
April 28th, 29th, and May 5th and 6th. At our homestead, we're going to be butchering some pigs.
That's right. You want to get that, and also you're going to get the electronic copy. You're going to get all the other stuff along with it. Okay, on behalf of Jason, this is Billy, the permaculture pimp daddy from Perma Pastures Farm, where permaculture is my passion. We'll see y'all next time.